Hey, folks, Chris Kerber here. You're listening to The Riz Show, and, well, I guess we have to do this because they asked me to. Happy birthday, Riz.
Boy, action-packed show today, huh?
Yep.
Got Craig Gass here, star of Stage and Screen, at Bar 101 tomorrow night. Our very own 10, I guess, will be opening up the show. GetGas.com for your tickets.
All the info is at GetGas.com for the comedy show tomorrow night. Get Gas with 2 S's.
And we have comedian Erik Griffin coming in. You know him from Workaholics. He's on that HBO show, I'm Dying Up Here.
Dying Up Here?
Which is he here yet, Moon? Hey, he's in the building? Hey, bring him in. Do you know him, Erik
I
Griffin?
do. I see him in the Comedy Store all the time.
Right. He's at Funny Bone this weekend. So, Craig, tell us why the Kiss Army's all pissed off at you.
I love hearing a good fight story.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't like being involved in one.
No.
You know that the fight story with like Alec Baldwin and Al Pacino.
Hey, Erik Griffin, everybody. Hey.
Eric, what's happening, man? How are you, Eric?
How are you?
Sorry, I'm not cutting in on you.
Jeff, how's it
No,
going?
it's all right. Eric, do you know Craig Gass?
We know each other from the Comedy Store.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Finish your story.
He's telling us why the Kiss Army's all pissed off at him.
What did you do to the Kiss Army?
Eric, this is ridiculous. I've been doing an impression of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, which has irritated Gene Simmons to the point where he actually showed up at the Howard Stern show to confront me live on the air.
Oh, that's great.
I thought so too. When Gary,
Who can I piss off?
When Gary Delabate said, "Hey, listen, so Gene Simmons said he doesn't like you being around." I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Did he actually say my name? Did he say, I hate Craig Gass? And he said, yeah. And I go, that's awesome. Like, I was so excited.
Yeah.
But over the years, it turned into a friendship, which led to a gig that I did recently where I performed on the Kiss Cruise, which is a cruise with 3,000 Kiss fans.
And by the way, you did the roast of Gene Simmons. You
Yes.
were on the roast of Gene Simmons,
Yes.
which was a Comedy Central thing.
It was, Jeff Ross,
deal,
Lisa
yeah.
Lampanelli, and And
A boat full of Kiss fans.
boat full of Kiss fans.
You know how
and-
awful that sounds?
Well,
How do you think something like that smells, by the way?
you know, and they're so old, it's like the Amistad. You know what I mean? It's that old.
I got to be honest, man. I loved it. I'm a Kiss fan. I got a kick out of it. But I met a girl on the cruise who was the cruise director. She's super peppy, and she's like the Julie McCoy of the Kiss cruise.
Oh,
okay?
gotcha.
And she said, "Oh my God, you're the comedian. You're the guy who does the Family Guy and." Hey, do you want to make a funny announcement on the ship with me tomorrow? And I said,
Oh, no.
"Oh, God, yeah."
Please tell me you didn't piss off a whole boat full of people.
Dude, the next morning, and this got piped into every cabin on the ship.
Oh, I love
Everyone on the Kiss cruise woke up to, "Good morning, everybody. This is Paul Stanley. And this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And we have a very important announcement. Do not panic, but we have a very important announcement about the Kiss cruise. It seems that the Kiss cruise has just hit an iceberg." Now, keep in mind, when I said we've hit an iceberg, we're in the middle of the freaking Bahamas when I said that.
Yeah, you would think.
There's no reason
It
for
was a
you.
panic.
And still going. Like,
There's no reason for you as an intelligent person to go, "This ship's going down."
Yeah.
We're in the Bahamas.
Was there a rock band just starting to play on the kind of, we're going to go down with the ship?
And the announcement continued with, "But do not panic because Kiss is going to take care of everybody." Okay? We actually have 3 packages to get you off the ship. Okay? First, we have the platinum package, which is $5,000, where we put you in a life raft and you have your own private photos taken with Kiss. Then we have the diamond package. Isn't that right, Paul? That's right, the diamond package. For $10,000, where we throw you in the ocean with Tommy and Erik, and Kiss floats by on a raft, and we do a private acoustic show in the ocean. Everything I said was stupid, but apparently 2 or 3 of the passengers
Of course.
actually got upset and ran to the employees and said, "Is Kiss really going to charge us to get off this boat?" And they got mad. Yeah. There's actually, and I'm doing an entire piece on stage right now called "I Think Gene Simmons is Going to Kill Me."
And it's So Bar 101 tomorrow if you want to come down and check it out. And again, it's getgas.com.
And
Get gas with
Erik
2 S's.
is at the Funny Bone this week. And nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too.
And
I
I'm a
feel like
big
I'm cutting in on something really great here.
No, I was excited for you to come in. I was excited for you to
I, by the way, am a huge fan of I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, I appreciate that. You're one of the 7.
What do you mean?
You're kidding.
What do you mean? It's as a fan of comedy.
Yeah, I know. It's one of these inside things, though. I know a lot. I find that a lot of people in the industry, a lot of comedian types, a lot of people that are like in the entertainment, they're like, "Oh my god, I love this. This is so it's so gritty and raw." But then it's like it's just there's so many options out there that are not enough of the main public. But we got a second season.
I know you got a second season.
So this might be the time where people go, let me go binge watch that first season so I can find out if this is something I should be watching.
Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, so it's Jim Carrey produced this thing.
Jim Carrey produced it. It's about the comedy in the 70s. Go on.
I was going to say, I remember being there that night. I was at the Comedy Store. They do this thing upstairs, the roast battle. I remember being there the night that Jim Carrey showed up. It was the first time he'd been at the Comedy Store in 20-something years.
Can I tell you something? Quick story. That night, it was a Tuesday. The manager of the Comedy Store comes up to me. I'm about to go on stage. Just a random Tuesday night. I'm about to go on stage, and he goes, "Hey, Jim Carrey's here." And I go,
"Huh?
Is he going to bump me?"
Yeah.
And then check this out. I got so mad because I was like, "What the hell is Jim Carrey doing here? He got $300 million. I'm trying to do my little set. I'm trying to get famous. What's he doing here, right?" And then he goes like, he's like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "Then what you telling me for?" That's how mad I was. Come to find out that they're all there. Jim Carrey, the director, the producers, the writers, because they're scouting comics.
Oh, wow.
So I did my set. Next day I had an audition. Wow. 3 weeks later I was on the show.
Damn.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
The show is set in the 70s.
I love his initial reaction.
It's
That's
about
such a
the Comedy
comic
Store.
reaction.
That's such a
It's
I
about
know.
the Comedy Store. So that's Pauly Shore's mom, Mitzi, who
well,
runs.
loosely.
It's loosely based on
it. In our world, in our universe, the Comedy Store exists.
But like the owner of the place in the show is Goldie. It's Melissa Leo.
Yes,
plays Goldie.
Yeah, because like Mitzi was in her 30s in the 70s, and it's different.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the Comedy Store is ground zero for stand-up comedy. And in the 70s and 80s, everyone, Robin Williams,
never been
Richard
there.
Pryor, Letterman, Leno.
That's when they all started.
Everyone started at the Comedy Store.
Don't you always feel like we started at the wrong era? Don't you feel like sometimes I really wish like the 80s when it was like a boom and I remember like Dave Tribble runs out of Montana.
Oh my God.
This guy was flying people in and renting people cars in the boom of the 80s.
You know what it's like being in radio back in the 80s and early 90s.
I know when people were listening,
Everybody was stop that. A lot of people. It's the #1 radio show in St. Louis. How dare you?
I started doing radio and stand-up in 1993, and everyone in radio and stand-up kept telling me, "You just missed it." Like everyone in radio. We would have sex with listeners in the studio. There was piles of cocaine everywhere. And comedy clubs, people would tell, like the Cedars, when you walk in and they go, "How many?" 2, we'll give you a seat. The Cedars would get tipped in cocaine. And it was well known that in the 80s, at the end of your weekend of performing at a comedy club, there was a phrase that was well known, which was, "Do you want to get paid in green or white?"
Wow.
Yeah. So
see, for me, it's white women. So.
But you just missed that.
I just missed all that. You know what I mean?
But Erik, right now, what's going on in the Comedy Store? The Comedy Store is going through a rebirth right now.
Yeah, it's a renaissance right now.
It's going through a renaissance period where everyone's at the Comedy Store again.
I'm glad to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I get 3 or 4 sets a week at the Comedy Store, and it's like it's great. I feel like in 10 years they're going to look back and be like, these were those guys that were playing there, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Right now.
What do you mean a renaissance though? Like you guys or
every
some
night
old school comedians? Still
no, right now at the Comedy Store, every night it's Louis C.K., it's Joe Rogan, it's Bill Burr, it's Dave Chappelle. Every night at the Comedy Store in Hollywood, and it's insane. And old school guys are coming back, like Arsenio Hall. Yakov Smirnoff is coming back to the club. I mean, it's crazy. It's such a mix.
Yakov came up to me the other night and was like, "I really like what you're doing."
I love what Erik said, by the way, really quick about finding out that somebody huge is in the room and like, oh man,
I was gonna bring that up because I went to the Comedy Cellar in New York for the first time last December. My first time ever at the Comedy Cellar, and man, they make sure you're no cell phones,
right?
No cell phones at all,
and
they're very serious about that. And you kind of wait for the big comedian to come who wants to practice material for that night. And you could see the look on some of the other comics' faces, some of the newer guys, afraid to get bumped by the.
Well, because if that guy wants to go up and do an hour, they can do an hour. But what I was going to say is that I showed up at the Comedy Store. I had a late night set. I had a midnight set a couple months ago, and I showed up at 11:30, and there was like this buzz, and people were like, "Hey, did you see who's here?" And I go, "No, who's here?" And they go, "Oh, look over there." And I look, and I go, "Oh my God, Chris Rock! Oh my God!" And then right at that moment, whoever was on stage, I think it was Sarah Tiana, said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest here. You know him as the host of the Oscars." Everyone started laughing, like, "Oh, okay, the host of the Oscars is here. Please welcome Chris Rock." And there's like a hesitation, like, "What?" And they want to wait till he gets on stage, and then they go, "Oh, Chris Rock!"
And then to his credit, he always goes, "Calm down. You know, this is not the $50 show."
Yes, he always says. What's Chris Rock?
I brought up Chris Rock. I've brought up Chris Rock, and he's all. And I was doing a show. You know, I'm up on stage, and they give me a little note, special guest, and then and then I hear, no, not yet. You know. Because he was waiting for somebody to come, and so I'm standing outside. I'm talking with Fahim Anwar, and I'm talking with other comics. And Chris Rock, I don't know if you ever met Chris Rock, but he is not an approachable dude.
He's very
Does he have this
introverted
kind of barrier?
Yes, he's very introverted. He doesn't say hello to people. He's very much like he has, you know. So I've tried to talk to him.
Is
before.
that just the way he is, or
I think it's just the way he is. I think we're all comics have a little weirdness to him, you know.
Quirk.
So then I was on stage, and so I had to bring up someone else. I thought because I had a note to bring him up, right? So then he comes out of the original room.
Yeah.
He sees me, and he beelines over to me, right? And I'm standing here talking to these two comics. They're flanking me, and he stands right in front of me, doesn't say anything to them, and he says to me, "Man, you were funny." And he starts having this conversation with me, and I was like having this surreal moment of like, wow, this is one of the giants, and this guy's taking the time to tell me that he thought I was funny.
Yeah.
Had this whole little conversation. I was asking him about the Oscars at the time, too. I said, "So do they ask you for, you know," I thought I was like, you know, I was like,
we're the same
Chris,
guy.
Yeah, we're all cash.
let's talk about, you know, our feel. Okay, so then I had this great conversation, and he leaves, and the two guys are looking at me like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, I walk by him and say, "Hey man," nothing. Like we didn't even like what just happened didn't happen. You know what I mean? And I started to question myself, like, is this something? You know. But then you know, actually recently, since then, he was on stage, and I had to go up after him, and he went like, you know, he was like the next person he saw me was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's actually funny," you know. But I still don't think he remembered. But it's that kind of moment. It's just that kind of moment.
Kind of a similar story.
Howard Stern brought you up?
No, David Tell was in here.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge David Tell fan, and I
David
thought we
Tell.
hit it up. You know, we hit it off. We had a great time on the air. You know, hey, we hang out after, whatever. Great time. Spent about 2 hours on the air together. Went to the Comedy Cellar. He played that night. He was outside smoking an American Spirit cigarette outside on the steps outside of
Which
the
he
Comedy
always
Cellar.
smokes. And he has the joke
standing there
about
by himself, and I'm out there with some friends. I'm like, "Hey, David Tell's up there. I know him. Let me go say hi."
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, because we all know what David Tell is like.
He had not a clue who I was.
Well, that night when Chris Rock was on stage, I was super excited because I'm a fan. And I'm watching, I'm like, "Oh my God." And they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Rock." Everybody's freaking out. And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." Because this is like, I'm a fan of comedy. And one of the managers walked over and said, Chris Rock. And I go, "Yeah, I saw." And he goes, "When he gets done, he's going to bring you up." And I go, "Oh, that's a terrible idea." That's a terrible idea. And he's like, we don't know. He might do 15 minutes. He might do an hour and a half.
Yeah, you want to go on after that.
We're not sure. But when he gets done, he's going to say, "I'm done. Please welcome Craig Gass." And I was like, "Oh, that's a terrible intro. That's like walking into a tiny rock club, a tiny little bar, and then go, 'Ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear some live music? Please welcome the Rolling Stones.'" What? No! Oh! Keith Richards! Oh! Start me up! Yes! Satisfaction! Yeah! You want some more? Yeah! All right! Please welcome Corey Feldman. What? No! Stay on stage. Stay on stage.
You don't
Nobody
wanna
wants
follow
that.
that?
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. But as a comic, you get used to having to follow and like, you know, how am I going to make an adjustment after this incredibly
Especially when there's no host at the Comedy Store.
Yes.
So you have to like.
Oh, you got to do it
You
yourself.
have to grab
No
the
buffer.
baton.
No
you have to grab the
buffer,
baton, which I like better. That's why it's a very hard room to do. But it's also fun. You bring up somebody, you see how they do. You know, one night I brought up Kevin Hart. He just was popping in, you know, and I'm like, everybody, you know, it's always fun to be like, okay. And I think the best intro for somebody huge is to downplay it like big time. Just go, you know, guys, you guys have been good tonight. So here's, you know, hey.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, this guy, he's in movies or something. Kevin Hart. They just go,
Right. Yeah. All right, guys, hold that thought. All right, Craig Gass is here. Erik Griffin is here. He is at Funny Bone Comedy Club this weekend. FunnyBoneSTL.com is the website. Am I getting that right? FunnyBoneSTL.com. Great.
FunnyBone, or just go to ErikGriffin.com. You can see what I'm doing, or I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram.
Google it.
And I'm at a bar.
All right, hang on, we got to
Bar 101, getgas.com.
We got to take a break, and we'll come back with the two comics next.
The Rizzuto Show on 105.7 The Point.
Boy, jam-packed today, huh? Jeff, what's your joke? Any more people? You need a lubricant.
A little lubricant, yeah. What is that music bed?
What are you, lubricating people?
This is No Church in the Wild. I'm offering.
Because this is a small room.
This is, I believe this is Jay-Z Kanye, No Church in the Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, come on, man.
I don't know, man. It sounds awesome.
Craig Gass is
Sounds
here.
like the devil's entrance music.
Erik Griffin is here. You know him from Workaholics. You know him from I'm Dying Up Here. He's at Funny Bone Comedy Club this weekend. Craig is at Bar 101 on Saturday. We had Sinbad in here yesterday.
Oh, God. Did the IRS show up?
Woo! Shots fired!
Fired!
That was Erik Griffin, everybody. Erik Griffin.
And we were talking about because Jerry Seinfeld had come out and said not too long ago that he refuses to play college campuses.
Oh,
Like he will not do college campuses
Don't even
anymore.
get me started. I just did a college in Oklahoma, and I had an awful time. Like,
And he said it's
just the
because of the
worst.
PC culture. And Sinbad
Yes.
was like, I don't care. I'll own anything. I don't care if PC or what. But I know you're not doing the college campuses anymore.
I mean, you do them because it's like a corporate gig. It's for the money, you know. But like, I was just in Oklahoma, you know. I got in the car of the student activities person, and I'm saying like, well, what kind of show, you know? Just, you know, she was like telling me, well, they're a little conservative, and I go, I'm thinking in my mind, why am I here? Like these,
For the money.
if these people are fans of Workaholics, for instance, right? So Workaholics is a show that we had a cool pedophile episode. There's drugs and drinking and objectification of women, and you know, this is what that show is about. And you want me to come do a clean show? Sorry, it's not going to happen. You know, and it's like these college kids, they go from zero to outraged like that, just boom. You know, they hear buzzwords. You know, you say handicap, and they go, "Oh my God, he doesn't like disabled people." And it's like, do you understand that handicap can mean that like I had an old Boy Scout injury and my leg doesn't work properly, so now I'm handicapped.
Right.
You know, but no, they think Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? And then now you think that you hate all people that have a disability, and that's the culture we live in right now. You know, and it's like it's not good for comedy. It really isn't.
Do you think
It's not good for free
It
drinkers.
stifles, you know, creativity. That's what I
It really
say.
does. You know, it's so funny that you say this because I tweeted something the other day about, like, you know, you look up the word liberal, you know, people that think they're liberal, they need to look up that word, and they're going to find out that they're not on the right side. You know, they you know, because I feel like people with comedians right now that they want to take all comedians' notebooks and they want to throw them in the fire like a Nazi book burning. And no, that's how they're coming at people, you know, right now, and they need to like loosen up.
I know somebody like Jerry Seinfeld doesn't even want to deal with it. That's why he doesn't. That's why
and he's clean.
People do take those words out of context.
Yes.
I mean, if you're in high school and someone says, "Hey, we're having a party at Rizzuto's house," like, "Oh, really? What kind of a party is it?" "Well, his parents are really conservative." Like, all right, I'm not going over there. But if someone says, "Hey, there's this girl that really likes you," like, and you know, she wants to meet you. "Oh, what's she like?" "Oh, she's got a really liberal attitude towards dating." It's like, "Oh, threesome, yeah." Like, that's who you want to hang out with.
But like, for instance, like I say, you need to look up liberal. Open to new behavior or opinions and willing to discard traditional values. Like people that are on the left that think that they're like so progressive and open-minded, and they're trying to shut down. They're actually not on that side. They're not.
Well, it's
look it up, people. Look it up.
It's hashtag crusading.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Hashtag. Well, I see a hashtag, so it's got to be important.
I think it's fun.
But
you're all for it, huh?
I get a kick out of tension. I get a kick out of like trying to figure out wade my way through the tension. You know, it's like
I think Erik's just like me. You just want to have a nice day. I just want to have a nice day.
I get it. I mean, it's crazy to me. People are booking Erik and then want something different.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
even if you look at my special, like, you know, I use profanity. I'm just like a free mind. I just go for it. And then you're gonna see that and be like, well, you know, what? Let's bring them to this college campus. You know, and I'm like, wow. privileged liberal white college girls. That's not my crowd.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, oh, I'm offended. I'm gonna call my father. Do you know my father pays tuition and I don't want to hear this about he said something about whatever buzzword you want to pick. And then
They're looking for their safe place on campus then.
Yeah,
right?
but it's like this is supposed to be the birthplace of like free speech and radical thinking and another thing too is like comedy is sometimes going to be abrasive and you just go.
It's going to make you uncomfortable sometimes.
It's going to make you uncomfortable. The best thing. I was at this college the other day and like I'm complaining to the activities board. After the show.
Okay.
And there's this one black girl. And I go, these people are sensitive. And she looked at me and said, maybe it wasn't funny.
Oh, you know what?
But
you know that she's wrong.
No. I said that is the exact response I want. That's it. She didn't go to Twitter. She wasn't on a crusade to to talk about my human decency or anything. She just said, I just didn't think it was funny, and that's it. That's the proper response.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to love everything. You don't have to love everything.
But it's putting on the shoulders of the comics to prove the point that the sensitivity has gotten carried away. There's a comedian friend of mine, Big J. Ogerson, who did a joke on stage, who I used to refer to as a magic trick. Because the crowd would freak out every time. And they would go, what? And people would get upset. And within 10 seconds, whether you wanted to or not, he made the whole room explode with laughter. And the joke was based on a true story. He said, I was with this girl. We're on a date. And we're making out in my car. And she starts crying. And I said, what are you crying for? And she said, because of this song. Because I had the radio on. It's playing Lynyrd Skynyrd's Freebird. And she says, when I was in college, I was raped to this song, which always makes the crowd go, what the? And he goes, yeah. And that's messed up for two reasons. Number one, rape is awful. And number two, that's a long song. That's like a 6.5-minute guitar solo. And the crowd always laughs. And he said, and then he tells a story about how he went to prison. He's like, man, I went to prison. I got raped to Rapper's Delight. You ever been raped to 18 verses? 18 verses? Yeah. So, I mean, whether you want to or
but
not.
You got to know.
But that would not fly at a college.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Because all they would hear is the word rape.
Rape, yeah.
And then it's like, he's condoning. He thinks that rape is okay. Yeah. That's what people do. Whatever you say at a college campus, they hear that one word and they go, well, he's saying that. And then they write you emails and they had like,
Well, with you, Eric, there was a video that went viral. Was it last year or a year and a half ago of a woman confronting you?
No, that's
Oh, that's right.
This is like what TMZ did is you just did what TMZ did. There's like everything is just taken out of context.
Well, I saw it on TMZ.
Yeah,
well,
I know.
I'm
it's
glad
like
I get to talk
TMZ
to you
hit me up like, Eric, we're rolling with this story, and I was like, okay, you don't really know what happened, but do what you want. Then they have this like ominous picture of me over her, and I was like, wow, what a sensationalizing.
I didn't take it that way at all. I took it
this
as
woman
this
was
drunk woman.
This was at the end of the show. And
What
she
city
was
was this
acting Louisville or
Okay.
someplace in Kentucky.
Okay.
And she's just acting up at the end of the show. I made the mistake of pulling out my phone and recording her. Like I have the real video of me looking at her acting crazy. The club doesn't have any bouncers, so they can't physically touch her and take her out because they're going to get sued.
Right.
She was going crazy, and then she just was acting up. She wouldn't leave. Her ego was out of control. And at that point, she was like, I'm not going nowhere. You ain't funny, blah, blah, blah.
Worst
and then it was just like, and what happened was
ever.
because I was taping her, she tried to hit the phone out of my hand. From the reverse angle of
It looks like she hit you.
Looks like she hit me. So that's why they went with that. And so that's not what happened. It's just like she just was making a fool of herself. And then at the end of the show, the police came, and then the police come up to me, and they're like, would you like to press charges? And I'm looking at her, and now totally different story. She's outside, they're picking on me. She's crying, and she's going crazy. So I said to the cop, I was like, let me just pretend like I'm going to press charges. So I'm going to act up over here with you. And I'm like, because I said to him, this is enough. This embarrassment she's dealing with right now is enough. I don't need her to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just because she was like, it's the weird thing about comedy clubs. We ask people what do we make them do? Drink.
Yeah.
You know what comes with drinking? Intoxication.
Yeah.
You know what comes with intoxication? People act stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going, hey, get drunk, but not too drunk.
Yeah.
Get drunk, but don't act a fool.
Eric,
Well, the headline on TMZ is workaholic star Erik Griffin hit by drunk heckler.
Exactly. And that's how and that's not what happened, But, it is what it is, So it's like, and I had everybody hitting me up. Oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened was I was at a little club that has no respect for the performers, and they don't, it's just one of these things where they just like, hey, let people drink as much as they want. This is what it's all about, So that's all the things that we have to deal with. People don't even realize that.
And Erik can tell you that there's so many times you'll be getting ready to go on stage, you'll be standing outside of the comedy club, and some guy will walk out that just got thrown out and said, I came to see you, but apparently it's not okay to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And go, okay. And then I don't even engage. I don't even go, what did you say? I just go, oh, man, I'm sorry.
One time I was in Seattle,
Yeah.
and it was like end of the show, 45-minute set. I got the landing gear out. I'm ready to take,
take her home.
I'm taking it home, and this drunk girl comes on stage. It's my birthday, And so at this point, I have to decide two things. I go, do I just lay into her and make everybody uncomfortable, and then they don't want to come back to this club? What choice am I going to make? I'm going to go with it and make it fun, so people are like, oh my God, that was great. I choose to make it fun. I picked something from my set that they called back on that it made everybody roar, and then I jumped off stage. But after that, she comes up to me like, oh my God, hey, wow, I was a part of the show. Everybody's coming up to me like, that was great. And then I tore into her. I was using every word you can think that you're not supposed to. Like, you'd have to dump everything I say right now if I told you what the word, and I did that because that's what I needed that, because it was like, you didn't help me.
Yeah.
Every person who yells at your show, throughout your show, like 90% of them will come up to you afterwards and go, hey, man, just helping out.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like, oh, my God.
Or they say this.
Yeah,
just jokes.
You don't go. You know what? You don't go to Hamilton and help out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it was on the show I'm Dying Up Here, which you're on Showtime, which now has a second season. Where they seat a bachelorette party. If there's a bachelorette party or bachelor party,
where you see like plastic penises in their hair and stuff. Yeah.
Well, they're not shutting up.
Yeah, of course.
They're there to
because
have a good
it's
time.
about them. It's about them. They come out to the show and it's like, oh my God. Those are the worst. Yeah, sometimes you'll be talking to people after the show, and there's people who want to come up and want to give you a joke, and it's always the most racist, horrifying joke. Or sometimes I'll just be talking to people for so long that I just get like numb.
You're like, I got this.
A few weeks ago, I was hanging out for 2 hours after a show.
Why?
Talking to people. I don't know. It's like
because he's a man of the people.
I'm always giving. I do like my DVD CDs.
This guy loves attention. Is what it is.
No, it was like I love people.
Love me.
No, I love people. I genuinely.
You don't love people.
I absolutely love people, and that's why I feel like I don't relate to other comedians, because I genuinely love being around people. And after I was like 2 hours of the show, and I'm just out of it, and I'm getting ready to leave, and a girl snuck back into the club and said, I love you. Can I just give you a hug? And I said, sure. Yeah. And she came at me at an awkward angle to my side. And I put my right arm around her shoulders to hug like this. And my left hand was free. And I thought, well, I should do something with this hand. And I just started patting her belly and just smacking her belly around. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, and then I realized, and everyone's looking at me and I go, what am I doing? I'm just flopping her belly. And then but I thought if I stop, then that's acknowledging like, oh, this was bad. But I was like, no, come on, flop this belly.
So
you
double down?
Yeah, I doubled down, just kept smacking her belly. Her belly's flopping around and popping out of her shirt.
You have to learn, I have to learn dismissive, goodbye language. So when somebody comes to me,
I got a great one.
If it goes too far, I'm like, hey, thanks for coming to the show.
Oh, that's my.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll say,
have a great rest of your night.
It's usually a drunk person. I'll have to say that too. Someone who's really hammered. You'll be having a normal conversation with a normal person, and out of your peripheral, you'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You know this isn't TV, right? So
yeah. And then you have to turn
the breathing
around.
said it all.
Okay, you have to turn around.
He's drunk walking right now. Everyone.
And you have to turn around and give it up to this person and go, hey, what's going on? What's your name? Oh, right on. Cool. Yeah. Hey, what would you say your name is? Chris? Hey, Chris. Thanks for coming down. Shake their hand, pat them on the shoulder. And there's this like kind of subtle thing of like, what's your name? My name's Craig. Thank you for coming
Cool, man.
down. Cool, I'll see you
Thanks,
later.
bro.
Unless they're really hammered.
All right.
In which case they'll go, well, wait, I'm not done. And
yeah,
then
we're
you're in
done.
trouble.
You're done, bro.
We're done here.
Haven't you developed something where you do like appearances for the
Yeah,
station?
I go, hey, thanks, man, and I walk away.
Yeah, that's it. And you walk away?
Yeah, but people walk up to him like, is the radio guy here?
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather heard than seen, by the way.
I went to a radio station event once in Arizona and met a girl who, it was the easiest hookup I've ever had in my life. She was really beautiful, took me back to her place. I couldn't believe it. And we had sex, and I got hammered, and I'm falling asleep in her bed, and she goes, can I ask you a question? And I go, what's that? And she goes, why do they call you Scary Larry? And I was like, that was the guy at the radio station. And this has got to be horrifying for the girl. I went, I'm not Scary Larry. My name's Craig. And I turned around and fell asleep.
How about this? Scary Larry getting laid.
Yeah.
With a name like Scary Larry getting laid. All right, so we have to end the fun. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
Here's how I end conversation.
I'm scared thinking about that story.
Thanks for coming down,
Thanks for
Craig.
coming
I'll
on,
see you
guys.
later.
Good to see you, Craig. See you
All right,
later.
Eric, I want to
That's
say,
my move.
I'm not done yet.
Eric Griffin, see him at Funny Bone
Touch my belly.
tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Eric Griffin's a very funny man. Go check him out.
Funnybone.com.
4 shows.
I agree with that.
4 shows.
Workaholics. I'm dying up here. What else you got?
My hour specials on Showtime called The Ugly Truth. You can see all that streaming right now. So I'm excited about everything that's happening right now. So come on out and see me.
Well, thanks for being part of the madness. Yeah, man. That is this Friday show.
And me, I have an
Craig Gass, we know you.
upskirt porn series that I'm hosting on the internet.
GetGas.com with 2 S's.
Yes, big show tomorrow night at Bar 101, and 10, perfect 10, across the hall over here is going to try to.
My intern's going to open up.
Your intern's going to do some
Oh,
stand-up
can't wait for
comedy.
that, huh?
Bar
Check
101.
that out. You have 4 chances to see me, 1 chance to see him. So you can come see us both.
Yeah.
There you go.
GetGas.com has all the info for the tickets. GetGas with 2 S's.com.
Craig Gass, Eric Griffin, thank you very much. We'll be back. Riz Show.
The Rizzuto Show.